core, it's a story about a teenager's dramatic and difficult struggle with having to grow up. The Catcher in the Rye is also one of the most controversial novels in modern American history, a favorite target of the censorship crowd. The biggest reasons for the periodic Sturm und Drang are the book's use of profanity and sexual references. It has also been disparaged as anti-white, anti-family values, immoral, or even violent. It was first banned in Oklahoma in 1960, and then several more times after that, reaching a fever pitch during the Reagan era, when books became a target of the so-called moral majority, the religious rights national movement at the time. Here's an NBC clip from 1981, the year President Reagan took office.
New efforts to ban some books from libraries, a new campaign which began after last fall's presidential election.
Most of the pressures that we are experiencing are being brought to bear on libraries by individuals who represent themselves as being members of the moral majority or as fundamentalist ministers.
What do they want removed?
Well, what they want removed is a veritable who's who and what's what of modern 20th century literature.
Coincidentally, book burning and banning happen to be staples of fascism and communism. The Nazis did it, Hitler imposing rigid censorship on newspapers and burning all literature he considered dangerous. The Soviets banned books too, along with the Chinese Communist Party and the Pol Pot regime, and pretty much everyone else who was terrible. Cuba's communist regime has banned books, newspapers, radio channels, and heavily restricted access to the internet for its citizens. So hey, Republicans, wokeness is communism, but book banning isn't? Make it make sense. It is literally another case of everything old is new again, because this exact tactic has hijacked present-day American politics. Just like back in the 80s, the Great Parrot Revolt is bankrolled by conservative organizations and think tanks and shaped by political operatives who are controlling the puppet strings so that you think this is just about regular moms and dads advocating for their kids. But strip off that veneer, and it's about so much more. It's about getting out the Republican vote by riling up white voters. But it's also about distracting those voters. Because distraction and sleight of hand is basically what modern Republican politics is all about. I mean, it sure ain't about governing. It's about selling white grievance and rage. The same rage that produces attacks on Asian Americans and Jewish people and on our capital. Rather than fight inflation, let's howl over critical race theory.